It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Boom! Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, and we ready to do this thing, giving you your champagne wishes and caviar dreams, man. It's been a hell of a weekend, but we getting ready to do some NXT work. NXT work going down, double taping tonight because guys getting ready to work. They got to go to Saudi, but here in Orlando, continuously. We got to get to work. It's all about the work. No days off. How you feel, man? How you feel?
I'm feeling good. I'm glad to be here in Orlando, Florida. You know, to hang out and see what all y'all got going on down there in NXT. And you know what? You're right. We were talking about this morning. You've had this crazy run lately of town to town. Your last 3 days. You've been in 3 different states, 3 different cities, and on 3 different planes, right?
Yeah. It's been a run ever since Vegas, actually. Going to see the Canelo fight. It's been a run, but for me, I'm excited, man. I'm still alive. Every time I wake up in the morning, I say, I look up and I say, I'm still here. I'm still here. It's a good day. So now, man, it's on and upward for me. I know there's a lot of work ahead, a lot of big fights ahead in Vegas, as well as some UFC stuff coming up. And then NXT is going to be in Vegas. They're coming up pretty soon, too.
On the 9th.
On the 9th. So I'm excited to get out there. First time being in the Apex. So for me, I'm living my best life, man. That's Duval, Little Duval, right?
Little Duval.
Yeah, I'm living my best life, man. Oh yes, and ever since I brought that little nugget in. Oh yes, it's
a new thing.
It seems like everything picked up. They just picked up once I started doing that.
Business picked up. So let me ask you: are you excited to do? Because this is like, from my understanding, one of the first crossover synergistic events for WWE and UFC. I can't think of another thing that they've done where it's like a WWE event emanating from a UFC venue in Las Vegas. Are you how do you feel about that?
I feel this song goes 5 heartbeats right there when you said. But no, man. You know what? I have no real feelings either way, man. I'm excited to be a part of the UFC thing. This merger, the Endeavor TKO thing. I'm excited about all of this stuff, but I feel a little apprehensive at the same time.
In what way?
Just because, the old guard, it's changed now, and I'm still trying to fit in, trying to make sure, I've always been about going to work and doing my job. Right. It's never been about anything other than going to work and doing my job. And I just need to, let the new guys, hey, man, I'm here to go out and do my job and do it to the best of my ability. And Vic and I, man, we've been having a hell of a run together. I must say, people been saying Vic and I perhaps could be the best duo on television right now. And that's across all sports.
Okay, yeah. So look, it's a lot.
So no, man, I'm excited. To be a part. I'm excited to get to the Apex because it's the first time I've been in there. I've always wanted to, get in there and check out one of the UFC fights. Always been busy, but now to be able to go in and do an NXT show and actually see what it's all about, I'm pretty excited. I was reading though that they may not be having any more events at the Apex.
I read something about.
I was reading that. So
I read something about no more fight nights.
Apprehensive. Yeah.
Is it no more fight nights or no more events?
No more fight nights. No more fight nights.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's Jets fight nights though. So
yeah,
we'll see. But they said they might be cutting down on the events of the fight nights that they're going to be having on a yearly basis. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Everything's up in the air right now.
Everything's up in the air. But I did also see something to where TKO might want to do like a 3-day, event ticket to where you could see a power slap event a WWE show and a UFC show all in the same weekend, like same city, same weekend, one ticket, all events.
And I mean, that, like, not like in Vegas though, like
No, like anywhere.
Man, I think that would be. You know what? This power slap thing. Talk to me about it.
I don't know. I'm still iffy about it. You know, I don't watch the Power Slap show, but I see a lot of the clips on social, you know, and it's always somebody getting the hell knocked out of them with a bunch of baby powder flying up in the air. You know what I mean? Like, every single time. And, you know, we say the same thing to each other pretty much every time we go to see a fight. We go, man, this is a rough way to make a living, right?
Yeah.
And then I see Power Slap. And I think not a rough way to make a living. I think this is a dumb way to make a living. All due respect, you know. All due respect to them.
You know what, man? If it's some money to be made,
Right? Yeah.
you'll find somebody to do it.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy about this life, man. If it's some money to be made, you'll find. That's how hard it is in this life. You know, I say it all the time. Life is the hardest thing you're ever going to deal with in life, and that proves it. When you get some guys that's willing to go up there and slap the hell out of each other, well, they just knock each other out. You know, I mean, a slap is like a punch, especially when it's you're not trying to block it.
No.
You taking it, head on. The guy could, be pretty, aggressive, with it. And for me, I don't know, man. I tell you this. I'm not going to knock anybody that's doing it. But I'm going to tell you right now, you could not pay my ass to do that at all. I'm serious. I ain't doing it. That's one route. I'm not going down. You know what? I even questioned the UFC, as far as, wanting to fight like that. Because people say, man, what you have done, UFC, when you was younger, would you have tried it?
Right.
Nah, man, because that's like we just said, that's a hell of a way to make a living. You don't just wake up one day wanting to do that. That's something that you start as a little bitty kid. You look at Tank Davis. Tank Davis say he started when he was 5 years old. The reason why Tank Davis feels so confident in the ring is because he started when he was 5 years old. And
right, second nature.
Well, it's so many fundamentals that comes along with the fight game. That's why he's saying, Frank Martin, you're not on my level. Come on, man, you're not on my level. And the thing is, you can tell when he say that, it's something that he really believed in his head. So for me, man, that slapping thing, I wouldn't be doing it, at all. I'm serious, but more power to the guys that go out there and do it, man, because I'm sure I could almost say this and be very, very confident saying it. I will believe that most of the guys that's going out there and doing that, just like myself, they're doing it for their family. They're doing it to make sure it's a roof over their head and, somebody getting fed most of the time. So that's why I say I can't knock somebody's hustle. I ain't gonna come on here and say, man, these guys are stupid. I can't do that, because most of the times, it's about that bullet and you stepping in front of it, for somebody else. So I get it. I totally do.
Yeah, I mean, I understand because I've heard Dana White say that they've had people who've entered Power Slap. They're not making a killing, right? But they've been able to pay their house off, which is significant, for 90% of Americans.
Well, we just watched Fight Night this week, and Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
We had Derek Lewis on the show. You remember what Derek Lewis said?
Just wanted to make enough money to pay off his house.
And now he got 2 Lamborghinis.
He's a big baller, man.
He got a big house, and his wife happy. You know what I mean? So, normally at the end of the day, man, that's what these guys are fighting for. They really are, And you hear, I've heard fighters talk about how, when they're up, everybody's on their side, and when they're down, just like, say, for instance, J. Rock Williams got knocked out. He was so upset with the fans because they came at him saying that he had a glass jaw, he was weak. He was like, man, we go through this on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis. And the training is just as hard as the fight, and we should get more respect, even if go out and get knocked out in a fight because we're gladiators. We're going out there and doing it for you. So I get it when I hear somebody like J-Rock talk like that. I get it, you know, when I watch these guys on Power Slap going out there and doing what they do. I get it being in this wrestling business, having to have been on the road sometime upward to 275 days a year, working, man, grinding. And people say, man, it should be some off days, man. I mean, some off period in it. But that's just not the way it is. It's a gladiator sport. And you got to be able to, you know, hang with the big boys. You know, I'm just saying. But I know we got to take a break, man. We got to take a break. Hey, guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Can you dig it, sucker? And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. Blue Chew. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
You know, let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, you know, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it.
Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. We just chopped it up. Where we going, man? Where we going?
Well, you know, I'm just seeing also what the chat's talking about. You know, John JID just, you know, telling it, chew it and do it, man. Absolutely.
No. You got to say, chew it. You got to get deep.
Chew it.
And do it. Oh, yeah. You got to get deep into it. If you're going to. You got to rock. We're going to make the shirt, man. When the shirt's coming out, Blue Chew.
Yeah, we need
Blue
Chew to do it. Sure.
When the shirt's coming out. You know what I'm saying? Chew it and do it. Put my pitch on it. Send me a check. Oh, yes. I love it, man.
You know, I love reading the chat because sometimes, like, people just, they say great things. They say crazy things. And sometimes, like, the chat just pops me. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even read the rest of this little comment here because I knew it wasn't going in a great place because it says, and like all due respect, it says, I know both y'all fellas married, but, and I didn't even really want to read past it. You know what I mean? Because it's not setting us up for anything that's gonna be good for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know y'all married, but do you want to hear what the rest of it is? Who is the sexiest female wrestler then and now? See, that sets us up for, because you work with a lot of women who are son, and then I don't want to have to answer any questions when I get to the house.
Yeah, that is a setup question.
That's a setup.
But let's just say this. Been a lot of sexy women in this business.
Beautiful women.
And today it's a plethora. It really is a plethora of beautiful, lovely ladies.
Yes.
In this business. And you know,
can't go wrong.
And the thing is, just look for yourself.
You answer your own question.
Your own question.
You tell us.
A bunch of.
You tell us, and we can react to what you say. But yeah, no. I mean, look, but you know, we've talked about this before. Always, wrestling is a show business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there, of course, there's going to be beautiful women. There's also going to be a lot of men who are, attractive to a large part of people. Handsome men.
Yeah.
In shape men.
It's like
So,
I was looking at the movie The Predator the other day, and the guy it was the Predator from the future,
Okay.
And the guy who was it? Fishburne. And he goes,
Fishburne.
and the men, ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
Not the women, and the men, ooh la la.
It's crazy.
I love movies, man. I'm serious, man. It's crazy.
I know. When we were in Vegas a couple weeks ago, I think it was Rocky 1 that was on.
Yeah.
And we were just pointing out lines to each other that made us laugh in Rocky 1.
And we sit there watching it like it was the first time.
Like it's the first time we've ever seen it.
Oh man, I love it.
Let's actually. I want to throw this to the chat, and then I want to get into some wrestling news. But we're watching Rocky 1, and Rocky is a loan or he's not a loan shark. He's a what is it called?
Tony.
Tony is. But I'm saying, what is Rocky? He's a Shylock, right? Like he goes and does the beating up of the people.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's talking to Tony. And Tony hears, hey, I heard you have a big date, coming up. And then Rocky said, where'd you hear that? And he said, a lot of canaries are singing at the docks. It's what Tony says. And I'm laughing at the line. And then Booker points out the most brilliant part of that. And Booker goes, why are they talking about Rocky having a date?
These gangsters.
You heard who Balboa's going with? Who? Paulie's sister. You know what I mean? Like, why are they doing that?
It's nuts. Oh my God. I love movies, man. I love movies, and I think that's why, I've been in this business for so long and lasted in the business for so long because of the movies, man. Always being able to find something from those movies. I remember, speaking of Rocky, I was so mad. I was so freaking mad. It was back when I was on the roster and I was working. And some of the writers had brought me something that they wanted me to say. And I read it. It was verbatim from the Rocky movie. And I was so mad with the guy. I go, wait a minute. They pay you guys to do this. I can do this myself.
What part?
I can't remember, but it was from the Rocky movie. And I was so freaking mad because I was like, wait a minute, we could do a lot better than, plagiarism. But no, man.
But you have to admit.
But for me to know that's where it came from. I was hot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you have to admit that Rocky, and not just the first one, all of them, and even the Creeds, they all have such great story parallels to wrestling where you can take so much from that and put it into wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The underdog story. I mean, we really even saw it in some ways with Cody, right? The American dream coming true, in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's nuts, man. People call you out on people call you out on plagiarism.
They should.
Yeah, because I plagiarized before on live television. I said it not too long ago, and I told Vic, and I said, Vic, come on, man. This is a business. You're not too far gone to know that. And I looked on Twitter, and somebody said that Booker T just quote the concert promoter from Prince.
Twitter will get you, man. They know everything.
It was right from Purple Rain, and I was like, wow, how does somebody remember that? You know what I mean? But
they've watched it like you.
But I go, yeah, that's where I got it from. I love it, man. We ain't talking about nothing today.
No, we
haven't
haven't.
talking about anything today, man. We got to talk about reality of wrestling coming off a huge weekend of reality of wrestling. I want to thank Lexus King for coming out to the Walker, Texas Lawyer Arena. Had a hell of a match with Ruthless Ryan Davison. Those guys went out there and rocked it, stole the show. Definitely, we talk about these damn 5-star ratings. I'm gonna give my boys a 5-star rating on that match because they went out there and rocked it, as well as the first ever, battle to the bell ladder match. Two of them, men and the women, went out there and rocked it. Can't wait to do that again next year. We might even make a whole show around, battle to the bell. That's a new invention. That's a brand new. That's like Dusty Rhodes,
the Great American Bash.
The Great American Bash. So yeah, y'all can make sure y'all give me the credit on that. If you see anybody, we got to make sure.
We got trademarked the Battle to the Bell.
Do it now. Make sure you get something in.
The Battle to the Bell. It was great. It was great to be able to have that. And by the way, shout out to Lady Bird Monica Monroe. You saw how she got up on that ladder.
Man, what a performer. Lady Bird has turned up. Monroe. Let's give her a props. Real props. You got to get full names here. And descriptions, whatnot. But Lady Bird did a hell of a job. And but all the ladies.
Yeah, all the ladies
stepped up and went out there and did something special. They was a part of history. And I love being a part of history. And there again, the guys went out there and rocked it as well. My boy Q, he almost damn near killed himself. But he's okay. He's okay.
He's fine.
He's fine. Thank God. I was talking to him out there. He seemed like he was a little shook up. And I was like, man, it's all right. It's gonna be all right. That was one of those things with growing pains. On the job training. You do it one time. You would never do it again. You know what I mean? So man, I want to give props to all the guys, man, all the girls that stepped up at Reality of Wrestling. We're onward and upward, man, to Summer of Champions, which will be the biggest event in Reality of Wrestling's history. I'm calling it right now. Summer of Champions 2024 is going to be the biggest event in Reality of Wrestling's story, man. And you know me, I'm all about history. I'm all about history, dog, and making it, if you understand what I'm saying. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited, big time.
No, it should be great. Summer Champions 10 right around the corner, coming up soon. Now, the other thing, Book, though, speaking of champions and kind of the legacies and Hall of Fame legacies, one of the things that helped cement you as a Hall of Famer was that run as King of the Ring. Right now, King and Queen of the Ring is coming up in Saudi Arabia, but there's been a bit of an issue sometimes with the. We talked about King of the Ring last time, and did you kill the gimmick? But now,
I tell you what, we'll talk about it. But we got to take a quick break. I don't want to let you go on time this time, so I'm gonna make sure we don't do that. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back. Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Booker T here alongside Brad Gilmore on the Hall of Fame podcast. Man, the NBA playoffs are rolling, and I'm pumped up about the matchups we're seeing. Imagine sitting courtside, feeling that playoff intensity up close.
Absolutely, Book. And with Game Time, getting there to witness the action live is easier than ever. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of the NBA, which means snagging playoff tickets is just a few taps away.
That's right, Brad. And here's the cool part. Prices on the Game Time app actually drop closer it gets to tip off. You heard me. Plus those killer last minute deals, all in prices and seat views right from the app. Game Time really takes the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets.
And let's not forget their lowest price guarantee, or as you say, their lowest price G guarantee. If you find a better price, Game Time will hit you back with 110% of the difference. That's confidence right there, BT.
And let me tell you, seeing the view from my seat on my phone before buying it is a game changer, dog.
Can't beat that, BT. Plus, with no surprise fees at checkout, what you see is what you pay. And for anyone worried about the what ifs of life, Game Time has got your back with event cancellation protection, job loss protection, and more.
So here's what you got to do.
Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code Booker for $20 off your first purchase. That's right, $20 off. See your favorite NBA team light up the playoffs. Just spell out Booker when you sign up. Terms apply.
Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Download Game Time today and take the stress out of your playoff experience. Remember, that's gametime.co. That's gametime.co.
Get in the game with Game Time. You're going to love it as much as we do. All right, y'all, back to the Hall of Fame. Oh, yes. What up, y'all? We back. He's just chopping it up. You know, we got a lot going on with Reality Wrestling. We got a lot going on with, you know, the show. The show might be getting bigger. Guys, it might, you know what? Big and big. That's what we think here, you know, inside the Hall of Fame. But where we going, man? Where you want to go?
Well, I was talking about the King of the Ring tournament. It's going along, King and Queen of the Ring tournament. It's going along swimmingly, but there have been some injury bugs.
The bugs.
Then we talked about Drew McIntyre out, Bobby Lashley out. Then it was announced over the weekend, Zelina Vega had to withdraw. She was the inaugural Queen of the Ring.
Yeah.
Remember, she actually, I think, took
Xavier Woods.
Xavier Woods, he's out, huh?
He's out as well.
Oh, wow, okay. So, and then when you think about all of those people, you know, names from there, it's weird. Is there like any superstition in the locker room when people start going down with injury? Do you start going like, oh man, like
You ever heard about my Red Bull stories?
I've heard the Red Bull.
Well, superstitions.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yes. So you got superstitions. You know what? The getting like just say for instance the post, you know, just like for pay-per-view.
Uh-huh.
You that's something that you're always wondering if you're gonna make it to the pay-per-view.
So that's like a thing in the locker
that's
room.
one of the things that, you know, if you get a poster, you're oh man, you're about to get hurt or something, you know. So
It's like the Madden,
like the
curse.
Madden curse, something like that. There are superstitions, but as far as going into a tournament like this, you don't expect for it to be a lot of injuries just because, you know, the tournament is you know, structured, you know, to where you're not going to be working a whole lot to actually get to that point. But I tell you what, these days, I just think these days, I don't know if we hear about injuries more because of social media and because it's reported, you know, so much when it actually happens. But it does seem like we are having a rash of injuries with guys. You know, I mean, we talked about this not too long ago with the females in NXT, you know, and all of them having knee injuries, you know. So, you know, what is it? You know, just like everything else, evolution, everything changes. Everything's getting a lot quicker. I just think it's a part of the game. It may just be a part of the culture now. I don't know. I really don't. I really can't answer, you know, I tell you what, though, I can say this. These young guys these days, they take about 70% more risk than the guys coming up.
In what way? You talking about in the ring, moves?
Well, a lot of it I can't talk about,
Mhm.
just because it's insider, you know, trading.
Okay.
Stuff that you know, we talk about in school, as far as how do you make it through a 20-year career, you know, and still be able to walk, still look good at the end of the day. I think, you know, just say for instance, you could look at the television today and just say for instance, you put a television side by side from a show in '95 and a show now in 2024, in two matches, guys are the same height, same size, and you watch the difference in the way they go out and work. This match over here, you may see a guy do a dive, but in this match over here in 2024, you're gonna see these guys go out and do a well more than these guys over here. So that's what I mean by these guys today. They actually throw caution to the wind so much more. I worry. I really do. I worry about the young guys these days. You know, just say for instance, a Darby Allin. Darby Allin. The first time I saw him in Northeast Championship Wrestling, before he ever got signed, with any company, and he did the coffin drop that night. That was the first time I had ever saw it off the top rope to the floor. And there was no padding or anything. And boom, and I go, man, what is wrong with this kid? but I saw what kind of talent he had also. I said, man, this kid's got something. And then I saw that. I was like, wait a minute, we don't want to be doing that too much. And then not too long ago, I saw him. I was at a convention. I saw him, and I said, hey, Darby, what's going on, man? And then I looked down, and he had a big boot on his leg. You know, and that having the boot on his leg, you know, made him miss going to climb Mount Everest.
Oh, right. You know
what I mean? So it's crazy. And I said, man, you go tone it down a little bit. And you go, man, you know me. I can only imagine how these guys are going to feel when they get my age. And you know, then again, I don't know if they're thinking about feeling. Maybe it's one of these things to where, man, I'm gonna burn the candle at both ends, and when it's over with, it's over with. And I know a lot of times you feel that way when you're in the moment, but when you finally get there and you wake up and you go, man, that hurt. You go, man, I wish I would have done that. So I worry about the young guys as far as the approach that they take when they go out and perform sometimes these days, because they can still get the same reactions. They can still get the same feelings, and sometimes even more. You know, so I just caution. I just want to caution the young guys.
Yeah, and I think that you know, there's always been performers in wrestling history who've gone, you know, above and beyond, I guess, as far as the risk factor. You know, Mick Foley's the one that a lot of people think about. Jeff Hardy's somebody who comes to mind. Go ahead.
No. When you say that, you know what I mean? There's only one Mick Foley.
Right.
There was only one Jeff Hardy. You know what I mean? There wasn't, you know, it was an abundance of guys doing the stuff that guys like me. Because you know why? We felt like we couldn't do the stuff that Mick Foley did. You know, Mick Foley was one of a kind. And to try to, you know, to pull that off, you know, you just, you know, putting yourself in a bad position. Mick Foley, there again, his pain threshold was different than most. He wasn't a guy that was all of the crazy stuff Mick did. How many times you heard about Mick Foley being on the shelf?
Right. Yeah. It's a good point.
It's one of a kind. He's one of a kind.
It's a good point. You know, and to me though, do you think that, so if you watch a match in the 80s, you know,
not the 80s, 90s.
I'm saying,
okay, go ahead. Okay.
Like, now, obviously, like everything, if you watch a movie in the 80s, the movies are a little bit slower. They don't do as many cuts. So there's not as many car chases or explosions, right? In the wrestling moves or matches from the 80s, there's not as much going on. You know, there's a lot of rest holds. You know, there's a lot of submission. There's, you know, certain things, you know, that we won't have to go into everything. And then the style has just continued to pick up the pace. So much so, sometimes the guys are moving so fast, they even made a whole new show about it called Speed. You know what I mean? 3 minute matches. You know? And by the way, congratulations to Ricochet. He's the first ever Speed champion.
It's imperfect.
Yeah. That's his style, you know, for sure. So I know part of it is just the evolution of how people watch and consume entertainment. But also you have to think, like, the oldest phrase I've ever heard, as long as I've been around this industry, is there's so many bumps on your bump card. And when you're going so much faster, you're doing so much stuff, you would think that then shortens the in-ring ability that you'll have, the in-ring run, right?
Yeah, you know what I would imagine? It's hard for me to put myself in, you know, these young guys' shoes and wonder, you know, what they're thinking and what they're feeling. I started when I was 25. And when I was 30, I was thinking about how I'm going to get out of the business and still be able to walk and still be able to, you know, hang with the kids and, you know, go out and still have fun, have life. I sat next to, you know, one of my idols, you know, Wahoo McDaniel, at one of the Great American Bashes in WCW. And he was in his 50s at that time. And he was pretty beat up. And I was like, man, you know, this is one of my idols. I'm like, how do I not find myself in that same position? You know, and that's why I say I can't put myself in these young guys' shoes. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know but they're not looking at the generation before them. You know, like guys, you know, that, you know, you see it and you say, God dang it, man. They're beat up there. They're pretty rough. How do I not find myself in that position? Or is it that gladiator sport to where you say you don't care? You'll do it all over again. Is it like that? And maybe it is like that for a lot of guys. I can imagine it's like that. Just like for instance, Evel Knievel.
Sure.
You can't tell Evel that would you do it all over again? Evel gonna say, hell yeah, I would do it all over again. You know,
Some Evel needed somebody in his corner, man. He needed an advocate.
we gotta take, I know we gotta take a break, but I remember Evel's last jump. And Evel, you know, he sucked it up and he made that last jump. Bang, 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 bang. I mean, literally, he was messed up and they got him up. Ambulance game, but Evel had to get up to his own 2 feet. He had to get to the microphone and get to the podium just so he could say, thank you guys. It's been a hell of a run, but I will never, ever jump again. Thank you very much. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey everybody, Brad Gilmore here with the one and only Booker T, and today we're not just talking about wrestling, we're talking about something that's changed the game for both of us personally, and that's Mando Whole Body Deodorant.
Yeah, that's right, Brad. You know, the most valuable thing in the world could be that #1 draft pick or home field advantage throughout the playoffs. But you know what's second? Time.
Absolutely, Book. And let me tell you, managing body odor, that used to eat up a lot of time. Always worrying about it, especially around midday, but not anymore since we started using Mando.
Yeah, but tell them why, Brad.
Well, Mando isn't like those other deodorants that just mask the odor with heavy fragrances. Mando stops odor at the source. It blocks bacteria on your skin from breaking down sweat, which, by the way, is what really causes that BO.
And it's clinically proven to control that odor for up to 72 hours. Now that's long-lasting, man.
It really frees up so much time since switching to Mando. I've even perfected my half-court shot, believe it or not.
Man, that's awesome. And let me add, I've been using Mando everywhere. Pits, grundles, and even those stinky crevices. We all got his aluminum-free, cruelty-free, dye-free, and vegan. Designed by a doctor who knew what was up about body odor, man.
And for our listeners, we got something special. New customers can get $5 off the Mando starter pack. That's over 40% off. Just use our code BOOKER at shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com.
Use shopmando.com. Check out their starter pack. Brad and I would not steer you wrong.
With Mando, you're really taking care of your body odor anywhere and everywhere. Give it a try and let us know what you think.
All right, now back to wrestling. But remember, control your body odor anywhere, anytime with Mando, and save big with the promo code Booker at shopmando.com.
Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Just kicking it here live in Orlando, Florida. Getting ready for some NXT action. Got a double taping here tonight, and I'm excited. It should be a great show. I hate, that we lose so many great young talent from NXT. Ilya Dragunov is one of them. Kiana James. Yeah. I'm excited for Kiana James though, because I really feel like she's ready for this moment. I feel like she's matured in NXT to the point to where she has been ready for this moment for quite some time. She don't have the resume as a lot of the the people leaving from NXT as far as being champion, whatnot. But I think Kiana James is almost going to be like that Olympic athlete that was really, really good in the amateurs, but when they got to the pros, they really wasn't that good, I think. But then you see some of the guys, in the amateurs that wasn't that great, and then they go on to be great in the pros. I feel like Kiana James is going to be great as a pro, and she's going to set a lot of records, big time.
What stands out to you about her?
You know when I told you the first time I saw Kiana James, you remember where I said I saw her
Where?
at the airport?
Oh, right.
Yeah, and I was like, man, who's that? You know, I said she passed the airport test. She looked the part. She played the part. You knew she was somebody, even if you didn't know who she was. And then when she gets in the ring, her talent, it's almost cerebral. It's very, very subtle. It's the small little bitty things that we talk about, the reality of wrestling that, a lot of, people would, it would totally go over their head. It's like taking that engine apart and putting it back together. And, when she put it back together, there are no pieces over here. Everything is solid and tight. And you can rest assured we're going to ride down the road and ain't nothing going to explode or blow up on us.
Right.
I mean? She's one that I feel like you can count on as well in that situation. How many times have I said, in this business, they got to be able to trust you. You know what I mean? Trust you to go out and be able to perform. Trust you not to get hurt. More importantly than anything, I think Kiana James checks off all those boxes. And that's just me. And if anybody wants some mustache tips, hit me up. I got some new product.
I saw Will Olday's trying to kind of go with you.
Yeah. He's adopted the stash game, so I like it, man. It's that Doc Holiday. That's what I call it.
Doc Holiday.
That Doc Holiday. That's the new brand I'm putting on it. That Doc Holiday. Yeah. You can get one. Hook you up.
You can get one. Well, it's good to know. It is a rainy Orlando, Florida, so I'm hoping
it just changed, man. The sun was shining. We had bright light in here and everything. Man, it just went gloomy, man.
Yeah, I know. I see some instability of the internet, so we're going to try to make sure we finish this segment out with some of your super chats here. Make sure if you have a super chat you want us to talk about, go ahead and send it in, and we will address it. This first one comes from Scott Bott, who's been a member for 10 months of the channel, so we appreciate you, Scott, as always. What's up, King Book and the boat? Book, what was your first reaction when you took a bump for the first time? That's a good question.
Well, when you're young, it doesn't bother you that much, I remember taking a bump into school off of Derry Ashford, school that Ivan Putski had. And it was quite refreshing. I wanted more.
Refreshing.
I was like, "Thank you, sir. Give me another."
You're probably the first one I've ever heard say that.
No, I mean, I don't know. Coming from where I came from, taking a bump wasn't something that I was, not prone to doing.
Sure.
I was the youngest of 8 growing up in that kind of household, so I was always about fighting and get beat up and whatnot. But nah, man, for me, I remember hitting the ropes my first time as well. That's even a better question. Hitting the ropes because I hit those ropes so many times, so hard. The coach didn't tell me anything, and I got home that night to go take a shower, and I literally the meat was raw. The meat was raw, and it stayed like that for a few days. It never happened again though. It toughened up, and from that point on, I was off and running, and I was hitting the ropes, as hard and fast as I possibly could, So. Yeah, man, it was a joy for me when I got the wrestling.
Now, what kind of ring did you train in? Was it an 18 by 18 with cable ropes, or was it a 20 by 20 with rope ropes?
It was 18 by 18 cable.
Cable.
Yeah.
And so those cables, I'm sure they have less give to them than the ropes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I wasn't thinking about it. I was just hitting the ropes, And that's something that you don't tell young guys and wise them up about, that's something that can happen because you want them to hit the ropes as hard as they possibly can. You want the skin to tear. You want them to get that callus, So, it's just part of it. Yeah, but I loved it, man. I loved every aspect of, getting my bag, getting my gear on, and getting down to the wrestling school and the training aspect of it. I don't think I ever missed a training day. I really don't. That's how much I loved it.
You enjoyed that.
I loved it, man. It was a great time in my life.
This one comes from John JID 999. What's the most important thing y'all have learned about commentary? What's something you still struggle with commentary? Take that first.
What I've learned about commentary, more than anything, is that if you're not preparing, you're preparing to fail. You're not really, really thinking about what's going to be happening throughout the night. Just say, for instance, you have your notes, but you still want to make sure you read the sheet all the way through, just so you can, have a feel of, timing and which way you perhaps may want to go. What I still struggle with, I think at NXT, I think that one thing I struggle with more than anything is just trying to make sure I get everybody's names properly, because
a lot of
so many names and a lot of them cross, like Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen.
Yeah.
They got the same letters, and then a lot of Kalani Jordan. You got a lot of names. You got to
Kalani Jordan, Kiana Jay.
Exactly. So you got to be able to make sure you're on point as far as that goes, because those small little mistakes add up throughout the night. It's just like a match. If you're watching a match and then the guys mess up, you're gonna go, "Oh, you messed up." You might say another adjective, but you're gonna be thinking it. But it is the same thing with commentary. Just trying to stay on point. For me, also just trying to be myself and not try to think like a commentator. Just try to have some fun and try to think about what the crowd is thinking about.
Yeah, no. I think from a commentary perspective, well, you said knowing the themes of the night is always important. And then I struggle wanting to say too much, but I guess the one thing is always remembering, although it's a show, it's real to you.
Oh yes, most definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Knowing that it's real, it's always real to you.
Oh yeah. I mean, I try to have fun with it, but I still try to make it, a show as far as real as I make it. As real as much hype I can get behind the guys. Never really thinking that it's about me ever. Mm-hmm. Even though I may have to use myself sometimes, just because I've been there, I've done it. I'm an analyst. I'm not a commentator. I try to speak from a been there, done that perspective. That's why I feel like being in NXT, for me, it fits a whole lot better than being on the main roster, because I can always refer back to the way I felt with these, with these young guys when they're doing it now. So I love it, man. It's a great time right now in my career.
We have two more here before we wrap for the day. This one comes from Trevor C. I missed the world title Booker had when he debuted in WWE. They shrunk the big gold as time went on in WWE. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, smaller? It does feel a little smaller.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it does feel a little smaller. Even one that I just got on my office, it just seemed like a tad bit smaller. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I agree. I agree 100%. The big goal for me was the Holy Grail. That was the one for me. Winning it in WCW was great, and then winning it as King Booker was just sweeter, man. So yeah, man. Gold belt, man. That's the one. It's the one Ric Flair wore, and that's the one I wore as well.
It's the most, to me, world champion looking title there's ever been in wrestling. The big gold.
Yeah.
Like when you see it, you think, oh, that's a world title.
Oh yeah.
I like I know a lot of people crap on some of the titles. Now I like the WWE title. I like how it looks, but I love the big gold. Let's see. Last one. This is from Angry Duckling Institution. Hey, Book. I'm on SSDI for autism and other mild conditions, and I recently showed one of my social workers the video of you and Stone Cold fighting in the grocery store. She thought it was hilarious.
I tell you, I appreciate that. Stone Cold Steve Austin, for the last month or so, we've been, high on the top merchandise, which has been really, really cool. But no, that was one of the highlights of my career, and I appreciate that. It's one of the highlights for you to watch. Never in a million years we thought we've been putting that work down, but preparation is the only luck you're going to have, going out there and doing the best of your ability to whatever else comes along. I refer that to anybody. It works, but I appreciate that. We got to get out of here, man. It's been an awesome show hanging out with you guys, giving you the champagne, man, the caviar. As always, we appreciate you, Brad, for the heavy lifting. But right now, we got to go to work. Appreciate you. We love you. Boom. We out.